Look, I come from a large family. So there
How
was
large?
4 kids. That's large, right?
Yeah.
4 kids. So we were like lower middle class, Connecticut, East Coast U.S., New England. We were brought up on a large-ish property in the sense that it backed up to this woods. So we had our playground was this forest. And we had my parents bought this house, and it was really an old house. And it was almost creepy. But had like this basement that always would flood. It had a really scary big attic.
At 20 years old, Michael Dearth left Connecticut with no real plan. He didn't know if he'd be gone for 2 months or 2 years. Then he landed in New Zealand and he never left. Michael is one of Auckland's most celebrated restaurateurs, co-founder of the Grove and Baduzzi, 2 of New Zealand's most awarded dining institutions. He's a MasterChef New Zealand judge, a sommelier, a man who started as a dishwasher but built something extraordinary. But what I love the most about Michael's story isn't the awards or the accolades. It's the man who found his place in the world. Not where he grew up, not where anyone expected, but exactly where his heart told him to be. He's also a sober sommelier, which in the wine world is quietly radical. He carries a story that makes everything he's built feel even more meaningful. This is a conversation about belonging, building, and the courage it takes to follow a quiet inner knowing. Hi, I'm Sue Kohn-Taylor, and this is The Essence Within You. Today, I'm joined by Michael Dearth, and I'm so excited for this conversation. I can't wait for you to hear all about him. Michael, welcome to my show.
Hi, Sue. Thanks for having me.
Now, Michael, people know you and your lovely wife, Annette, for your fabulous restaurants, the Grove, Baduzzi, your reputation, your success. But what I like exploring on this show is actually the human story underneath it all.
Okay.
Are you up for this?
I am.
And it's really about the moments that shape you, the risks you take, and what really drives you, what's underneath it all. So I'd love to go right back to the start, but just before we do that, I want to give you some quick fire questions.
Okay.
To get a little quick insight into you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And you might have a blank, and that's okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You're stuck on a desert island.
Okay.
What would be the meal you would choose to eat for 30 days in a row?
Oh, probably a roasted chicken.
Roasted chicken?
I love a roasted chicken.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like quite simple.
Just a roasted chicken, but can I have are we talking sides and stuff?
Yeah,
I
go
definitely
for it,
need a
go
side
for
of pasta for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So a side of fresh pasta, maybe like a little cacio e pepe.
Yeah.
With some pecorino cheese.
Okay, this is a fancy island.
Yeah, I need cheese. So we covered the cheese thing. We have
Yes.
the carbohydrates with the pasta.
Yes.
We got the protein with the roasted chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, I could eat a roasted chicken every day if it's done really
Really?
nice. Yeah. Good roasted chicken because you can eat it hot and then
And
you can eat
have
it
it cold.
You know,
Okay.
right down to the bones.
Yeah.
Yummy,
yeah.
yummy.
Okay, and then you can use the bones too, hey?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you an early morning or late night person?
I'm both.
Tell me about that.
I love late nights.
Yeah.
I love when the house is quiet. And I'm usually coming home from work. And so I love late nights and I love early mornings. I love something I love the mornings. You know, I love coffee. And again, the house is usually quiet. I'm up first.
Yeah.
And I just get some of my stuff done. I like to exercise in the morning, get that behind me. So, yeah.
I'm an early morning person too, but my favourite is going walking because nobody's up. And
same.
the birds are just starting to come out.
It's a great.
And no one else is around, and there's something quite magical about that time, so I get that. Late person, not so much. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would be at your table?
Wow.
That's a big question.
That's
to
good.
quick fire.
I wish
but,
I could have prepared this because this is juicy.
Yes.
You know who I really love alive? If I could pick someone alive that's in New Zealand, I love this Charlotte Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, on national radio. Sorry,
yes,
is that
yes.
all right if I can give a plug? Because
yeah.
she's just so informed.
Yeah.
You know, she can do anything from an astrophysicist to somebody up and talk about rugby, everything in between. And I'm always like, I kind of like...
Fascinating people to have conversation with around the table.
So I've always liked her.
Okay.
And probably Yogi Berra. I don't know if you know who that
I
is.
love Yogi Bear.
So, well, no, not Yogi, but not the cartoon
Not
guy.
the cartoon guy.
There's someone who played for the New York Yankees. I'm a baseball fan.
Yep, okay.
And he's really famous for a lot of aphorisms, like, so if you come up to a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah.
Like, he's almost like a Yoda sort of guy.
Yes.
And he played for the New York Yankees a long time ago. A lot of real special things happened to him, but he's won 10 World Series, and I would love to meet him.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
okay, so that's your number 2.
So that's number 2, New York Yankee. And let's see, number 3 at a dinner party. Marco Perwhite.
Oh, tell me about...
So Marco Perwhite is our first celebrity chef.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
He was like the first youngest to get 3 Michelin stars. Gordon Ramsay worked for Marco. Gordon Ramsay apparently cried. Marco made Gordon cry. So early days. Days.
I do know him because I just watched the Gordon Ramsay documentary that just came out.
Being Gordon Ramsay.
Yes.
So I was always a Marco Perwhite camp.
Yeah.
And not so much, like, if you ask me a question, is there anybody that you'd like to fight in a boxing ring? I would pick Gordon Ramsay because I'm being a front of house guy, and he's an angry chef that yells. I just kind of want to knock him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so I've never appreciated him.
Yes.
But when I saw this documentary in the human side with his 6 kids and his 100 restaurants, I like Gordon Ramsay now, and I like that he paid a little homage to Marco Perwhite, his mentor.
Yeah, it was a great documentary, actually. It gave me an appreciation too, because I think, and you probably will find this too, being on MasterChef, there's that persona that people see on the outside, but underneath, who is that person?
Yes.
You know?
And I think definitely with Gordon Ramsay, there's something that you'd see for the brand.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing success story.
Huge success, yeah.
From the F1 restaurants.
Yeah, I know.
And his passion for F1 to loving his family to having a restaurant in Manila open up and all over the world. He's a worldwide brand.
Yeah, and he's a big softie too, which I thought was so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? What do you think is the most underrated cooking ingredient?
Salt.
Salt, yeah.
People sometimes forget about salt.
Do they? I always think people oversalt.
You think so?
Yeah.
Underrated cooking ingredient might be thyme.
Thyme?
You know, a lot of times people don't, if they cook something, they don't rest it. And then they just kind of tear right into it.
Yes.
You know, so like you should rest your roasted chicken or you should, you have a steak.
Yeah.
People cook it and then they just carve right into it because they're hungry. So general rule of thumb is how long it takes you to cook, you generally would rest. So maybe thyme.
I like that. That's different. Not something I would actually think about. So that's great. Favorite city in the world for food?
Stop it.
Stop it.
Oh my God. How can I
choose one?
How can I answer that?
Okay.
So I can say maybe recently.
Yes.
I went to Modena.
Yes. Beautiful.
So, the birthplace, balsamic, and so many things great. It's in that crescent from Parmigiano Reggiano to the North Parma to, the making mortadella, prosciutto. And in Modena, you have Massimo Bottura.
Yes.
And he has his, 3 Michelin star places in his little bistro. I was really fortunate enough to eat at the bistro, Franceschetta.
Nice.
And we had a little wander after that lunch, because we didn't want to pay the €700 a night for his 3-star place, but we thought, let's go take a picture in front of this 3 Michelin star place. Yeah. And we actually met Massimo.
How gorgeous.
And we have a great photo between my Italian chef, Federico, myself, our designer, Paul Izzard, and he was such a gracious, amazing guy. He's a great chef.
Yeah.
Massimo Bottura. I have big respect for him. So then after that, we wandered around Modena. And we were, obviously after meeting Massimo, we were walking on a cloud. So that was really special. My belly was happy. My soul was happy. And it was one of those never-ending days. It was a memorable day that'll go down in my history.
Yeah, and I like that because it was also experiential as opposed to just being about what the food is that's there. Beautiful, beautiful. And last one, do you believe success comes from hard work or talent?
There's that quote, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yep.
So I think you need to have a vision. Like if you're kind of just spinning your wheels working hard, but you don't have a goal, you'll still be in the quagmire and spinning your wheels. So I guess if you have hard work and an idea of where you want to go, it helps with the connection. Luck is huge. I mean, luck. So I have Italian heritage and I have Irish heritage. So I always say I kind of got the passions of both.
Yes.
So I feel, because I'm a Michael Patrick.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I have a bit of blessings, luck, and I'm very grateful. But I think luck does have something to do with it.
I totally agree. And you can create your own luck too.
You can. There's a great quote from Goethe, famous German philosopher, and it's about providence, and it's about boldness and action. And once one makes a decision and says, this is what I want to do, the universe kind of conspires to kind of help you on your path.
Oh, it's an energetic thing, isn't it? I mean, that's a whole other story, isn't it?
Don't get me started.
Well, don't get me started.
Okay.
Maybe that's another show.
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. That's it on the quick fire.
Okay,
quick
thank
insight. Thank you. Great answers. So tell me, who was the young Michael before all of this started?
Okay, the young Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I come from a large family. So there
How
was
large?
4 kids. That's large, right?
Yeah.
4 kids. So we were like lower middle class, Connecticut, East Coast U.S., New England. We were brought up on a large-ish property in the sense that it backed up to this woods. So we had our playground was this forest. And we had my parents bought this house, and it was really an old house, and it was almost creepy. But it had like this basement that always would flood. It had a really scary big attic, and it was just this big old house that, but it had this like existing fruit trees. Like it had plums and apples and pears. It had little grapevines. It had wild raspberries and blackberries. And we would have this big garden, and there would be a bush, and my mom was like, don't eat those berries. They look poisonous. And it turns out our neighbor came over and said, oh, those are black currants.
No.
And so then we're like, Mom made blackcurrant jam. So we would do, because we couldn't go out and get the most flash Nikes, and we couldn't go out and get the Jordache jeans, and we couldn't go out and get the latest and greatest, we did eat well. Because we did a lot of the preserving and pickling fermentation, like way before Martha Stewart, way before it was cool.
Yeah.
So my parents
was cool before it was cool.
Yeah. So they would do all this, and then we also had a lot of great chats around the table. So for us, it was, you would get a courgette or a zucchini, and they go from being like this to like this. And then you got to feed a bunch of, and my brother and I were like bottomless pits.
Yeah.
I don't know how my 2 younger sisters made it. Because we're like, are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat that?
That's
Are you going to eat that? So you take this zucchini and you just be like, grate it up and make a zucchini cake, like a carrot cake.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, ooh, this is delicious. And
so that whole environment where your food...
Yeah. We ate well, and we laughed. It was like one of those laughters where, we got smacked, and it was the time of year where it was just like you got smacked in school. I mean, I went to a Catholic school, and I yawned, and I was in kindergarten before first grade, and the nun pulled me up in front of the class, and it was called the Board of Education.
The Board of Education.
But it was an actual board.
I was just about to say, I could just imagine
it was actually a board. And she put me over and was like, whap, 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 for yawning. I was like, oh, get up here, boy.
Oh, that's cruel.
Whap, whap, whap.
Yeah.
And, so Catholic school, why? you know.
Okay.
So so we had discipline, but we would laugh about it.
Yes.
It was like one of those, that dark sort of humor.
Yeah.
And so ate well, laughed a lot. I think it was a great. I got into sports. I think it was a good outlet for me. Mm-hmm. I found my way to American football gridiron. Mm-hmm. So I'd use what I would make up for lack of talent, I would make up with tenacity. Yeah. And, use my body as a weapon. Yeah. And I was good at it. Yes. And it was fun. Yeah. And so our high school, we were like state champions. It was like the only time we actually had a great team. The quarterback actually ended up playing in the professional.
Amazing.
And so I had one of those, I was captain of the football team. We won the state championship.
You were a hero.
You're a big man on campus. Yeah. So I had a great high school years, and those times are really challenging for a lot of young people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Were you creative?
Really creative, yes. Yeah, I did a lot of art. I love to, draw and create, and still for the kids, I love poetry, and I'll write bad poetry. If you go to Baduzzi, you'll see there's, on the menu, there's things that I write. Mm-hmm. There's actually things that, when it was just a shell, I would have friends and family come in and write their well wishes, and then we would put tiles over them, or we would put stuff up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so,
that's awesome.
So but I do like to.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious you're still creative, but I just wondered whether that starts at a young age or develops.
Yeah,
later.
I did art from an early age, and doodling and art and landscapes and that sort of stuff, and for the kids' birthdays and stuff. Like my daughter loved Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. She's like, "Dad, can you draw this?" It was a nice little pencil sketch. I'm simple. Yeah. I do simple stuff, like little charcoal pencil, nothing fancy.
So then at 22, age 22,
yes,
you came to New Zealand, you and Annette.
No, I came first.
Oh, you came first?
Yeah,
when did you meet Annette?
I met Annette in San Francisco. So real quickly, I came to this part of the world around 20, and I stayed for 2 years. Oh, okay. So Australia was really the first place I went to. Yes. I had a 6-month visa. I stayed there for close to 2 years. I overstayed my visa. Please leave now. Yes. So I was deported. Yes. I had deportation to my CV. So I ended up in Denpasar with a backpack full of dirty laundry, feeling sorry for myself. Yes. I'm just like, here, I just got deported. Yes. Mom, Dad, they're not going to be proud. Not going to be proud of this. And then I traveled through Indonesia and kind of met my way to New Zealand. So now at this stage, I was like 21, 22. Yes, yeah. And so now I've been traveling for 2 years. So I had under my belt 2 years of an education at university. Mm-hmm. I went traveling for 2 years, and then I went back to Connecticut to finish my degree I was working on. Okay. But so that was my big world trip. In New Zealand, after, being in Australia for a long time, which was a big adventure. I did a lot of stuff there. Indonesia. Then I came to New Zealand, and I was kind of travel worn. I'm like, hey, I want to get back now. I'm ready. But I remember breaking through the clouds at Auckland Airport, and you can see the little farms. And then I did the woofing thing. I worked in farms, and I was down in Nelson, in Richmond, down in the South Island, and just, I'm like, what is this place? So that Tauranga Waiwai, the country was calling me. And I'm like, I went home from that trip. After spending the majority of my time in Australia, everyone's like, "Oh my, how was it?" I'm like, "I'm gonna live in New Zealand someday." And they're like, "Wait a minute, I thought you were in Australia." I was like, "No, New Zealand's where it's at. I'm going to New Zealand. New Zealand called me, and I'm coming."
Amazing.
So that was when I was 22. So then I finished my degree, moved cross country to visit my brother. Moved to San Francisco. I drove cross country with a girlfriend at the time. Didn't work out, thankfully. And
good way to figure it out on a road trip.
Yeah, that's how you figure out a lot on a road trip. I recommend it. And we were in San Francisco. I was living with my brother. I started working in restaurants in San Francisco. It was my culinary university. I've worked for some amazing sommeliers. I worked with some amazing chefs. I lived in wine country. Sonoma, Glen Ellen in particular, and we would drive into San Francisco. We did that 50-minute drive. So I met Annette at a restaurant, and interesting. It was a restaurant that created a lot of relationships and babies from this restaurant, which is really cool because fast forward, and that's like, I'm like, if this is going to work out, you're going to have to want to move to New Zealand because this is, you have to join me.
That's my journey.
Join me on my quest.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, take me there. So when we were dating, I brought Annette to New Zealand, went around. She's like, I love this place. This place is great. Let's do it. So we got married in the Cook Islands. Our family thought we were crazy. We had a small 20-person wedding. My mom had to get a passport. Annette's dad had to get a passport. They're like, the kids, they want to get married in the Cook Islands. So we had 20 people on the beach.
Beautiful.
Wedding. Fast forward, we open up the Grove. And now we have Grove babies because the Grove's been going for 20 years. Yes. I love the fact that, for example, Matt Lambert and Barbara, they got together and they have children now. Yep. You know, and there's a bunch of Grove babies, and I like to hold these babies and be like, you wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me. You know, play God. But no, it's cool. There's a few Baduzzi babies too, but yeah, we have.
Yeah. And when you look back now at that decision to move here, does it seem crazy back then, all of that? Or was
it was like, that's what's happening. It was
just a true
No, this is
calling.
What's happening.
Yep.
So that was that whole thing. Like, I was like, no, I'm going to New Zealand. This is what I want to do. And what's really crazy is when I was in San Francisco, I met this Kiwi guy. He was a businessman. And he was he was eating at a casual Italian restaurant in San Francisco. His name was Aldister. And I'm like, if you just have this in Auckland, you would just smash it. And he's like, I completely agree. And, you know, he helped me get into the country. He had many businesses and helped sponsor me. And it was just like one of those Goethe things where I just was like, the universe was cooperating.
Lay down the path for you.
And so we moved, Annette and I moved 24 years ago, and we moved here with our California cat, Pepe Nero, and Annette and I landed, and we, started our thing.
Amazing. Was there ever a moment in those early years when you thought, after arriving in New Zealand, oh my gosh, what have we done? Or did it just seem to flow?
I think more for Annette. You know, Annette has some gorgeous childhood friends. And I think at that stage, they were all starting to have babies. And they're like the photos, and they're walking, and we're just starting a new life. And, you know, I think Americans, the culture differences between New Zealanders and Americans, you know, I think Americans like to make nice quickly.
Yes.
You know, good or bad.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, they'll connect with you.
Yeah.
Where I found with Kiwis, they'll just be a little bit kind of
slower.
Yeah, let's
like,
just
let me check you out a few times
hang
first.
On a second. Yeah. So we have so many beautiful friends. 24 years later. But in those early days, Annette had her posse of 5 girlfriends, and she just was kind of and I have my guy friends. You know how guys are. Would be like, "Hey man, how's your daughter going?" He's like, "He's a son." Yeah. And isn't he like 4? No, he's 7. I'm just like, oh shit, sorry, you know. But I think it was for guys, or for me anyway, it was a bit. I was really focused on, so stoked to be here. Yeah. Let's go. But for Annette, you know, she came right.
But I think, you know, those really deep relationships for a woman are where you have, you know, those deeper conversations of what's really going on. For a lot of guys, it's like, whatever, I'll move on.
We'll catch up later, and then we catch up. And it's great. We've had so many people come visit us over the years. Yeah. And we actually, at the end of this month, we have Annette's childhood girlfriends. There's a posse of like 6 of them. Yes. And they all went to like Michigan State. Yeah. They're actually coming the end of the month, and they call me the Cabana Boy because I'm just the guy that like I'm going to feed them and drive them around, and you know, they're going to have fun. So I love that. That's happening. It's happening.
I love it. Love to see the photos of that going on. Do you think, by the sounds of it, you're a believer in trusting instinct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
My gut is. I always say, if I didn't own restaurants, I'd be a poker player.
Oh, we're going to come to that later.
Okay,
because I'm going to ask you that.
Are we playing? What's the buy-in? Okay, let's do this. I love this.
Yeah, because, you know, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and leaders and leadership teams, and I'm always talking about, you know, you've got to tune in and give yourself that space to actually get to know that instinct, because it's one of the most powerful decision-making sort of support mechanisms that you can ever ask for. And it's right there, but often gets buried because we get so cerebral and busy, and we forget about it. So when you and Annette opened up the Grove in 2004, did you imagine it would become one of the best fine dining establishments in New Zealand and the world? Because I think you mentioned this before, in 2018 it was ranked number 9 in Traveller's Choice Awards on the international travel website TripAdvisor, one of the best 100 restaurants in the world by French ranking and Restaurants Guide La Liste, and probably a whole lot of other ones as well. Did you ever imagine it was going to be that successful?
No. I mean, I knew that we wanted to create something special. I've had the restaurants I've worked with in San Francisco with, like I was saying, these sommeliers and these chefs, and Annette also worked with some amazing restaurants in some really high-end hotels. I knew that from our training, and I saw what was there in New Zealand 20-something years ago, 25 years ago.
Yep.
I just knew that with our American service, and then, of course, you need to get the right rising star chef to build the team. And I think that's where my gut worked in, where I kind of was able to connect with, like, Michael Meredith was our first chef. We had Sid Sarwat with us for a couple of years, Ben Bailey, and then the list goes on and on and on. We've had some great chefs over the years. So I think early on I knew that we would make something special, and we would make something that would do Auckland proud. Worldwide thing, that's bigger than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be something
that big. How does it feel when you get that global recognition, and here you are, from a guy who came from a massive USA, and you're in little New Zealand, and you get that recognition?
I mean, I'm very proud, but we have a great team, and it's these days, now that I'm older and I'd like to think wiser, for me, people vote with their butt. They come and they sit on your. They say, "I want to see full restaurants, happy people, inspired staff." Like, I have a whole different sort of thing that really gets me excited. But to win awards, to have Kelly Brett, I love her. If she, Cuisine Magazine, if they say that we are a supreme something, I'd be stoked. But what I'm really stoked for is the team, because now there's this next generation of people that are coming up. That's why this Michelin star thing is great, because we'll kind of keep some. Our biggest resource, full stop, in the country are our young minds.
Yes.
And we're losing them. So if they want to go to France because they want to get a Michelin star, so they can add that to the CV, they can actually now stay here, get a Michelin star in Hamilton.
Yes. Yeah.
Or wherever.
No, it's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's good. I mean, there's some politics about it that I don't like. But no, accolades are great, but I think they're really great for the team.
Overall, good vibe. I can imagine, and I can't imagine, but running a restaurant is intense because of all the different dynamics. What does it take to actually have and maintain that standard for 20 years?
Yeah, you need to
That's huge.
Yeah, you need to be passionate about it. You need to kind of, it's almost a reverse. So the whole biblical story of the Tower of Babel, where everyone was trying to get around to build this tower so they could be closer to God, and then suddenly God was like, no one, all these languages, and people couldn't understand each other.
Yep.
I think I remember when I was at this restaurant, Fleur de Lis, in San Francisco. It was a big leap for me. I went to this fine dining French restaurant, and the staff were mostly French. And I was one of the non-French guys.
Yes.
And it had all the sections that you know about now. It was so well run. It was so busy. It was one of the best restaurants in San Francisco. And my first day, I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, actually, and I'm a pretty confident guy. I was just like, I don't know if I can do it. So I went from the guy that I don't think I can do it to being one of the top guys. And there was a moment in between that journey where I was in the kitchen, and everything, this chaos, it was chaos. And I knew I had to have chaos in my section, and the front door was chaos, and the guy in the bar was getting slammed with drinks. And I kind of knew, I suddenly had, like in the Matrix, I kind of understood all these foreign languages, from the guy calling away the meats to the stress that was happening at the front door to the back door.
Yes.
And I kind of was like, I understand this language. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
I'm like, this
It was a moment.
is what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to be in restaurants. I'm going to do this because I can understand this language. So I tell people, like young budding managers, they want to go from being a waiter. And like, okay, you want to be a waiter. You want to make sure your section is locked down.
Yes.
All your tables, everyone needs everything.
Yep.
And then you go from being really efficient where you can kind of leave your section to help other people in their section. And then, you kind of grow. But and then they want to be the manager. I'm like, okay, you're going to be the manager. You got to realize what's happening at the plunge. The plunge is pots, pans, dishes.
Yes,
they're busy. They need help. The front door, what's happening? Oh, there's deliveries that were from lunch and it's now 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
No one's put them away.
You've got to be doing it across all of
So
that.
you need to kind of have this.
Yeah.
It takes that someone. Would you train that, or is that just kind of the way someone is?
I think there's an element of that that's a talent, an innate talent, but you can also be trained on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always look at it and go, how do you bring that all together? Crazy. You, as you mentioned, you trained some amazing chefs: Ben Bailey, Sid Sarawat, Michael Meredith.
To be fair, I didn't train them.
Okay.
To be fair, the best way I always say, I buy the canvas.
Yep.
And I give it to them, and they paint the masterpiece. I mean, we always joke around like I give this long leash to anyone that works for me. Just don't hang yourself with it.
Yep.
I give a lot of freedom.
Yes.
For creativity. So to be fair to the names like Michael Meredith, Ben Bailey, Sid Sarawat, they were rising stars, geniuses in their own right. I didn't train them.
But you gave them
a platform and support. And we would always brainwash like, oh, wouldn't this be great? Wouldn't that be tasty? Ben Bailey in particular, we did a lot of traveling together. We were in San Francisco, and I was like, I can't wait to show you San Francisco because this is where I worked.
Yeah.
Michael Meredith, I brought Michael Meredith to Fleur de Lis, and he did a little thing in the kitchen where I worked for like 6 years. And that was like really special. So we'd be able to speak food and what's important and what do we want our customers to experience, so that's more. I didn't train them at all.
Okay, so
to be fair,
no, I understand that, but I think you have that platform and you enable that growth by all working together. And
we worked hard together, like Ben in particular, because he was with us for a long time. You do so much together, especially in hospitality.
Well, they must become a bit like family, don't they?
We use that word a lot, but it's really true. We spend more time together than we would with our wives and our husbands and our kids. And so when it's really great, it gets even better, because you are kind of like you're doing an event, and we have high standards for the Grove. We have high standards for Baduzzi. And then when you can do like for Baduzzi, when you're suddenly on Waiheke and with someone's boat and it's 150 people and you're pumping out food that's just as good as it is in the restaurant, but you're doing it remotely, or you're doing an event in Hong Kong like we did with the Grove and Ben Bailey. We went through customs with like 12 polystyrene containers full of all this New Zealand produce and did this event, and you smash it. That's you get to know people on such a deep level.
Oh, I can imagine.
And that's cool.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. How do you learn to make incredible food and manage people and create an experience and run the business side of a business, because it's so many hats? Yeah.
I mean, I always say this. You get a lot of young kids come up and they make you a dish. And look, you can put crayfish, king crab, caviar. You just put Wagyu beef. You just start piling all this really expensive stuff, and it'll be delicious. But can you make money?
Yeah.
You can't charge someone $1,000 for the plate.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's so many layers.
So you can make something tasty, and that's why we've seen the trend of these cheaper cuts. A shin, a brisket. You can jazz something. You can take something really simple. And that's why traveling is really important. I love to travel. I love other cultures.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such. I have a great life. I've had Bordeaux in Bordeaux. I've drank cognac in cognac. I've explored the Champagne region. I've been to Sicily. I've been to Corsica. I've been to some amazing places. I'm so stoked. Japan, Tokyo. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I think when you go to those places, you learn about simplicity. I'm guilty even with my cooking. I'm like more. But actually to have that hand of restraint where you just say, actually, this is this beautiful piece of fish, and I'm going to have a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of garlic, and I'm just going to let it kiss the grill.
Yes.
And then bring it out, a little bit of salt, and you're just like, that's the fish.
Actually, I just had this conversation in the weekend with some people when we were talking about food, and they said, when did food end up becoming so layered, like that whole more, that you actually lose the essence of the main?
It's been a crazy journey. Yeah. We've seen a lot in this last 20 years. If you think about it, that whole spherification, it's just madness. Like you take a pea, which is round, and they smash up all the peas, blend it all up with this magic and this little gels and stuff, and then they bake it into these little drops into peas again.
I know.
I'm like, it used to be round, and it was a lovely pea. Why did you do all this to make a round pea again?
Yeah.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of different trends. I don't know. For me, that's why I love the Grove, and the Grove was a wonderful way for us to create and spread our wings. We've had a lot of wonderful people work there. We've had a lot of wonderful customers that we've became friends that came through those doors. We were fortunate that we could write the last chapter of the Grove. But moving forward, like Baduzzi is the type of food I grew up with.
Yeah.
When I traveled to Italy, and I was just there a couple months ago because I'm working on a new project, I'm just like, God, this the simplest ingredients. Build a nice restaurant with good, comfortable fit out, and get great staff, train them up, and just give a little bit more in those areas.
Yeah. Actually, that's interesting, because I was going to ask you, what makes a dining experience, in your opinion, memorable? So memorable.
So my job is to give moments. I'm in the moment game. Okay, I think a lot of people, I'm reminding my staff a lot. You'll be in this restaurant, and you'll see this a lot with the Grove, because it was an old building in the CBD, building. But it was a gorgeous building, and we let the building with the brick and the big beautiful windows, and it was. I call that kitchen Frankenstein's monster. I mean, the things that we, had to chop off a head and put a rational oven, and we had to the things that came out of that kitchen, but still it was a beautiful restaurant. It was a hidden little oasis in the CBD. But look, we live in the world where, because before, in the 80s, 70s, it was the maitre d'.
Yes.
The maitre d' was the guy. So if you want to get into that restaurant, you need to talk to Jean-Claude, because Jean-Claude, you're not going to get in.
Best mate.
You're not going to get in. Jean-Claude is the gatekeeper. No, I don't want you. And then the chefs were in the kitchen. But then the chefs came out, and then the chefs started becoming the rock stars. And now we have bartenders are becoming the rock stars. The sommeliers are becoming the rock stars. So we're seeing this change in the maitre d's and the restaurateurs. But at the end of the day, it takes a team to produce. You can't just have a celebrity chef. Well, Gordon Ramsay will prove me wrong, because he builds his team.
Yeah, but if you look at that documentary, gave you a good insight to that.
How paramount it is. His Jean-Claude was amazing. Yeah. So I think, to answer your question, there's the art of hospitality, and you want to give moments, but the moment that you want, my perception of your moment might not be the moment you want.
Yeah.
So I have to be, and so my degree is in psychology, and I think that's when it comes to play, where you're like, now that I'm older and mature, I'm not going to be like, hey, let me tell you a little story about myself. You know what I'm saying? People are just like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm in a meeting, and I got shit to do, and just bring me some food and bring me a martini, please.
Yeah. I've been talking to people all day.
Yeah. And it's great in my industry where somebody will sit down and I'll be like, oh, you're the team leader, aren't you? Yeah. And he'd be like, you can't talk to me that way. But, because I'm like, well, I can never work in that corporate world anymore. I'm broken. I can't. Nobody's never going to hire me. So, but I think, so the moments, it's not about me. Someone wants to just meet the chef and talk to the chef and get a photo with the chef. And I'm like, sweet, take a photo with the chef. Some people just love their waiter. Some people love their bartender. But for me, we need to figure out what's their moment that they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have lots of moments for them to either lean into or lean out of.
If people take away different things, I've had people come up to me. We've made our own wallpaper at Baduzzi. It has like New England, where I'm from, and New Zealand, New England. It has the wing lion, which, because I lived in Florence, is a little wing lion. We made our own wallpaper. Some people are just blown away about the wallpaper. Their favorite takeaway from Baduzzi is they can't believe we made our own wallpaper. Yep. So that's their moment.
It was one of my moments ages ago. And then you move on to other moments.
Yeah. I love cooking on an open fire.
Yes.
For me, I always tell the guys, I joke around. Like at the beginning of service, this is a big secret, by the way.
Oh, big secret.
So I'll,
don't tell
because we cook on wood. I love cooking on wood because it speaks to us, our DNA of who we are. This is how we've eaten for 100,000 years. We this is how we eat.
Yep.
And so I tell the guys, we have the extraction fan. I'm like, okay, at the beginning of service, I shut off the extraction fan just for a little bit while we kind of load some wood on because the wood, instead of the smoke getting sucked up, it just kind of
wafts
in a little bit.
Yeah.
I call it psychological warfare. I would, if I had it my way, I would take a hot pan, some olive oil, garlic, put it on a pan and walk through the dining room and let people smell garlic.
Yes.
And they'll just, because it's just like, I want to eat. Yeah. Like if I smell like beautiful wood on a fire, good things are happening. I know good things are happening.
I love that. I love that. Now, this is a great segue because I'm sure you must have some great stories about guests. And not only just from some of the amazing people that probably walk through your doors, but also, I always laugh to myself. My husband and I go out for meals and we talk. We're talkers, we love chatting, we've always got something to talk about. And I look around and there's people there who will utter, a couple of sentences and they're there sort of staring around. Or Valentine's Day is a great one. I walk past restaurants where the two people are on their phones and you go, happy Valentine's, people.
There's a lot of that.
Have you got some great stories?
Well,
or have you got anything, any little snippets of...
Well, when you were first saying of interesting people that ate at the restaurant, just to kind of bring it full circle, so Marco Perwhite came here for one of our food things, and they've asked me to interview Marco Perwhite. So I interviewed him from a couple hundred people at this event, and then he thought I did a great job interviewing him, which was flattering. So he came into Baduzzi. And he ate a vongole. Clams, fresh pasta, garlic, chili, parsley, simple. And we had such a great conversation. He came back the next day, sat at the same table, same seat, and ordered the same thing.
No way.
Marco Perwhite, 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, same thing.
And he was going to come in a third night, but his people were just like, we actually have to go see other people. I was like, no, my God, that would blow my mind. If Marco Perwhite 3 days in a row had the same dish. So my proudest moment has to be Marco Perwhite had a vongole at Baduzzi 2 nights in a row, sitting in the same chair, and I was just proud.
It's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Eva Longoria, she came in.
Oh, yeah.
She came into the Grove, and she had a meal at the Grove, and we totally hit it off. We were just laughing. And then she was like, oh, my husband, Jesus, whatever, we want to come to your other restaurant, Baduzzi. And it's just going to be the two of us, and we want you to join us for dinner. Could you have your wife and I join us for dinner? Eva Longoria.
Well.
So I'm like, and so I'm at the Grove, and I'm like, well, Baduzzi tomorrow night. I'm like, sure, great, that'd be great. Yeah. And so I went home that night, and I told Annette, I'm like, Annette, Eva Longoria wants to have us dinner with her.
With us.
And Annette's like, I'm not having dinner with Eva Longoria. Oh. She's like, no, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. She's like, sorry. So I had to make an excuse, and that was busy because I wasn't going to miss the opportunity of sitting down at a table. No. So it was her husband, Eva Longoria, and myself, and we were sitting down at this round table at Baduzzi, and everyone was looking like, I can imagine. God, Eva Longoria.
Yeah. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was cool.
Amazing.
She had sloppy table manners.
Really?
It was really cute, though.
Oh.
You know when you have a bowl of pasta,
Yes.
and you know if someone takes the bowl of pasta and they pick it up, and then they bring it over to their plate?
Yes.
But
there's a big gap.
But all the pasta,
slop.
and I was watching her, like you'd pick up the plate, you'd bring it by your plate, you'd pass the pasta and put it in your plate.
Yeah.
And I was watching her do it, and then she was like a friend. She was like, she didn't care. She was like doing it. She was just talking and laughing, and I saw her do it. I just was like, it made me find her more attractive. Do you know what I'm saying? I was just like, that's awesome. I love that you did that.
Yeah. Oh, so funny. Table manners.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, table manners. That's a funny thing.
I don't think Eva Longoria is going to hear this podcast, is she? Because she might get mad at me for saying that.
She might laugh, though.
Okay.
She might laugh.
All right.
I think she'd laugh.
I think she would.
I think she would.
It was fun.
It's a great story.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and yes, I can imagine there's all sorts of the complaining guests and all the rest. I always used to, my mother-in-law, bless her soul, she's not around anymore, but whenever we went out for dinner, she would look at the menu and she would always want to change it.
Yeah.
So she would say, oh, can I have that? But can I have that? And could I have that from there and put that there? And it was just always like, can you just stop it? Stop. Do you understand how this operates, how this works?
I'm like that for breakfast.
Are you?
I'm really, our big night out is going out for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I'm really picky about my breakfast.
What breakfast do you have if you've had a big
Well, if I
night?
go out, I'm like, hey, can I have some that's spinach, but
Yes.
just like the spinach, a little bit of garlic, and like toast. People don't toast.
Yeah. How do you
Like,
toast?
Well, I want toast like well toasted.
Okay.
You know, if that's something, they'll give you toast and it's this
Oh, no,
slightly
it's a bit
warm-
lumpy.
Yeah.
No, crispy.
bread.
Yeah.
I want toast with butter.
Yes.
You know, and I need actually more butter than you think.
Right.
I'd like butter.
Okay.
And and some maybe some nice fresh herbs on the eggs.
Yes, nice.
You know, if they do some scrambled eggs,
Yeah,
maybe some
nice.
halloumi. Halloumi would be nice.
Oh, halloumi, yeah, great.
You know?
Yep. Go-to breakfast. Yes. Hospitality. You know, a lot of what we've been talking about is about making people happy, have experiences. How do you find joy? How do you find that joy outside of...
I love to garden.
Yeah.
I'm an avid gardener. Mm-hmm. We have a place, we bought a house in Point Chev. Mm-hmm. It was an ex-state house built in the 40s, this brick thing. It backs up to a reserve. And so I've kind of designed this house. So we got this brick house, and then we just made another brick. You know, we made it all bedrooms.
Yep.
And then we have the kitchen, high ceiling.
Is yours double brick?
I think so. There's a lot of brick. Yeah, brick.
I've got a double brick.
Yeah.
Our old state house too. It used to be the missionary house.
And the wood that they used when they were kind of demoing part of the house, all
Beautiful.
that was so well made.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Ours is so well made and just beautiful way that it's been put together in the wood and everything else.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's a sloping section, and it has a park in the back that will never be built on because I think it's that whole flooding. That could happen.
Yep.
And so it goes from a park to another park to another park to the water. Oh, so Point Chev is great. Yep. It's great. I love it. And so I've kind of designed the garden, the flowers and the veggies and stuff. I kind of been really cheeky, but I kind of go out into it's like my bonus backyard.
Yes. Yeah.
And so if I have a day like yesterday, it was Sunday. Sundays are sacred. We've made this. I have this beautiful outdoor kitchen. Mm. We don't have a gas barbecue. Mm-hmm. I just build a fire and we cook on
every time. Yeah.
Yeah, no gas.
Yep.
I mean, it's not we're going to cook. We're fire. And I got a little pizza oven, but we really use the fireplace. It's like a Argentinian sort of vibe where you start the fire, you smash down the coals, you put the grill on, and then when you're done, you can move the grill and then just load some wood up, and then you have a big fire for the ambience.
Yes.
And so for me, a happy day is tidying up the whole garden, cleaning out the beds, make the lawn nice, prune some things, tidy up, and then get the fire going. Mm-hmm. And you're showered, and you have already had your things marinating or macerating.
Yes.
And then we get around the fire and the kids, and we just have a good chat.
And that's a perfect day of
And the kids kind of watch me slowly, like reverse sear a T-bone steak off to the side.
Yeah.
And I do like the holy trinity of meat.
Yes.
Like chicken, beef, pork. The trifecta. The trifecta of meat.
I can just imagine it. That is very South American, isn't it?
Yeah.
They have the whole lot.
Oh, we do vegetables too. I do some beautiful. I got this like mushroom clamp thing. I got this clamp, and so you can put all the mushrooms on it, where you can put them on the fire, off the fire, on the fire, off the fire, and then you can get the mushrooms nice too.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah.
Oh, very good. I love that. Good way to relax. If someone shadowed you for a week, followed you, what do you think they'd find most surprising?
They'd be like, "We have to donate your body to science." Like, how do you do what you do? Yeah.
You're a machine during the week.
I kind of am. I'm kind of, which is good. I mean, look, before COVID, we had 2 great teams, 2 great restaurants. I had like 70 staff. And I'm working harder than I ever worked. And which is...
Now. Yeah.
Which I love. Yeah. I love what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm also sober. I'm like 7.5 years sober.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So I'm a sommelier that's sober. I'm a sober sommelier. So I mean, I'll smell, spit, taste, and sort of thing. But for the most part, it's because I'm so busy, and that's why it's such a blessing. Like I'm I'm busy. So if you were to follow me around, I'm kind of like, I have my stuff I have to do for work, but one of the gifts of my current status of life is I'm really present.
Yeah, beautiful.
So and that's what we have right now. This is what we have.
I know.
And so if I can kind of dial into this moment and just kind of whatever happened in the past is the past, but I'm now moving forward, striding confidently in the direction of my dreams, but if like, what do you need? I know that I'm reliable, I'm honest, I'm hardworking, and, I think if you followed around with me, we'd have some fun.
Yeah. So that's fascinating that you've been sober that many years when you're in the industry. I guess it's too easy too, isn't it, just to be drinking all the time.
We live in a vampire industry. It's like late nights, and it's too easy to... I could work a 12-hour shift and drink a bottle of wine, and I can still be legal to drive.
Yes,
because of my what I am. So then I can go home, and I have a nice wine cellar. Wine's a commodity. I'll buy a wine through some research, and I'll cellar it for 10, 15 years, and it would get some great write-ups, and then you can charge how much more for the wine because you've cellared it properly, and so it's a commodity. But then it's nice to see, how the babies are growing up.
Yeah.
I call them the babies are in the wine cellar.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of see where they are. You sell a Grange, and then you can drink a Grange.
Yes.
And you'll be like, ooh, it kind of was a little bit too soon. We should have waited. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But then, so for me, it was too easy. And then when I was leaving my 40s, I was like, I kind of like this place. And I want to be healthy. And so for me, it was like some motivation was health. Some motivation was like, look, we have only so much time on this planet. I want to be soaking up as much
as you can,
goodness as I can.
And I think in a lot of hospitality, alcohol becomes medication, doesn't it?
It does.
For the stress, for the, to wind down and all of those sorts of things. So, I'm a firm believer in that. Whilst I'm not sober. I'm sober now, but
I can tell.
I normally don't drink during the work week because I want to be sharp and I want to be onto it and have my brain and body working well. So I do get that, but you'd probably a bit of an icon for.
Yeah, my staff would always know. I would have a glass of wine by the point of sale system. I'd have a glass of wine in the corner. They always knew what I liked, and it would just be like, oh, this is a refreshing Vermentino from. Sardinia.
Yes.
I'm just like delicious. I'm kind of thirsty and I'm busy, and you're just absent-mindedly putting stuff in your body.
Yeah, and again, it's not that presence, is it? In terms of you can just keep doing that and not realise the impact. You have a family, I think hospitality, from what I know, long hours, late nights, weekends working. How did your family?
The magic, it doesn't happen all the time because Annette normally does like Monday, Tuesday, invoicing, payroll. She'll do all that sort of back of house stuff. I'm kind of in the restaurant, topping up someone's wine, telling them a joke and seating people, training. So we have kind of flip-flop. But every once in a while, like Annette will host And my son's 19 years old. He's now in Wellington, but he was bartending for a bit.
Yes.
So my son would be bartending. And then my daughter was running food.
How old's your daughter?
She's 16.
16, so 19 and 16.
Yeah. So, and then we kind of, everything's going under control. We would leave together. And I'm just like, that's probably super rewarding. That doesn't happen all the time. But Lucia, she has a couple shifts. She's a food runner.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, hey, Lucia, are you working tonight? And she's like, yeah. And I'll be like, are you closing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm not closing. So I'll see you at home.
Yeah.
And so I work with my daughter.
That's lovely.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Does
she want to stay in the hospitality
industry? I'm
yeah.
trying to entice her. I'm like, I took them. We've done a lot of traveling together. Mostly it's been to the U.S. to see family.
Yeah.
Or we'd go to Hawaii for an indulgence. We love Hawaii. But before the Olympics, we took them to France. It was a couple weeks before the Olympics. We're in Paris. And they went to Europe for the first time, and they saw these old buildings, and even like this silly little bus stop or the railing to go down to the metro. The metro sign, just the sign of the metro is a work of art,
Yeah.
And you can see on their face, they're like, oh. And so I went, after that trip, we came home. They were totally, Lucia especially was hooked. She's like, she wants to travel, after high school, between universities, she wants to have. And then I was like, well, she's like, Dad, when's the next trip? Where are we going next? Where are we going? But I was like, I have to go to Milan because there's a hospitality fair because I want to buy these ovens for this new project and buy some things. So I went to Milan in October, and Lucia was a bit dark. She's like, you're not taking me.
What about me?
You're not taking me to Milan? What's going on? So because I went with my chef Federico, and I went to Milan. And we did a nice little loop with the Italian Riviera and Parma and Modena. We did the whole thing.
Beautiful.
And so I was telling Lucia, she's like, how come you get to go to France and Italy? I'm like, well, look, it's actually, let me just tell you about your career. I was like, you love to travel. Yeah. Imagine a world where you could go travel for your job. And I would tell her the times when I did drink, I was, drinking Bordeaux and drinking cognac and cognac. And oh my God, this is amazing. And you learn about this alchemy of, that's this deep sort of people, land, making things. And so I'm trying to get her hooked. Who knows what'll happen? But she does have a big attention to detail. Hospitality is not for everyone.
Yeah, okay.
It's not for everyone. Yeah. But
she's still in there.
Yeah, she's there. But it's really cool. It's like one of her, her girlfriend's a food runner with her. So Beata and Lucia are at the pass running food, and everyone loves them because they're hardworking. Yeah. And then Beata's boyfriend Tom he's washing dishes. So I got this whole young little army, and Tom's wants to do more than wash dishes. So he's rolling some meatballs.
I love it.
Doing some stuff in the kitchen.
Must be so. That brings you joy in itself, doesn't it?
Oh,
when you
completely.
See, you can bring people that you love.
And I love meeting the moms.
Yes.
The moms come in and they're just like, we are so proud. And I'm just like, you should be proud. You've made a nice human. Yes. And I really mean it. I love meeting people's moms, and their parents, and they're just like, it's another layer.
Yeah, definitely. Gosh, there's so many other questions that I have. Might have to be a part 2.
Okay.
It's been just such a great conversation. But what's next for you and Annette? What's the next legacy piece?
Well, I think we are going to open up a new restaurant. We're just working out some details with our new potential landlord. Yeah. But we're getting there. It's very positive. Yeah. So probably by the time this airs, I would have signed a lease. Okay. So it's North Shore. Yeah. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which everyone's like, North Shore.
North Shore.
Whoa, you're going to the North Shore.
Going to the dark side, as some people
Crossing
call it.
the bridge. I was so close. Baduzzi's so close to the bridge. So we do get a lot of people from all over. Yeah. So, we're going to give it a go. We've done some research. The deal looks great. The space looks great. I think we'll be able to build something that's a quality space with a nice atmosphere and we can hopefully fill the need and be part of the community. I want to build something that, the Wynyard Quarter was this budding area in Baduzzi, 13 years later. I think we're like, it's a great neighborhood, and and that's actually growing more and more with residential fabrics and corporate fabrics and that. And so this is going to be another thing where I'm hoping that there's growth. There's also a need, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And
as a North Shore person, I can say, come, please, come.
So we're coming. We're coming. And it'll be, my thing is Italian-American.
Yeah.
Baduzzi, we say we're Italian-inspired, and we probably hero from Rome to the south. This place will be but still have this Italian-American spin.
Yeah, nice.
This might be a little bit more north. Rome to the north,
yes,
but Italian-American.
Still
have something that you're like, you see that in New York City, maybe.
Does it, because you've had that break from the Grove, and now you've just got the one, is there an element within you, just even a little bit, that go, whoa, here we go. Yeah, when you push that button, it's like, oh, on.
I'm kind of that sort of person. I know that when we made the announcement with the Grove, and we gave the long goodbye. It was like 4 months. The restaurant was booked solid. It was the busiest, the best numbers we ever did.
Yeah,
we should have said we were closing 10 years ago.
Well, don't some of those companies do that? They
I think so.
Closing sale.
You can see why. And I had people fly from the States just to come to dinner. I had people fly from Sydney just to come and have dinner. So it was wonderful, and I love the way we went up. But we closed. So many people were calling us saying, "Would you want to come and be part of this winery? And you do the hospitality, or do you want to come and do this?" And then that's just like, stop answering your phone, please. Please, can I just have some time, some peace to process this growth? Yeah. And so just something kind of came our way, and I just did some did some research, and I'm like, this looks great. And it is all about the team. I'm not sitting there counting $2 coins at 2 a.m.
No.
Anymore anyway, and you got to build a team for that. So.
Well, another passion project coming out. So this goes back to something you mentioned right at the beginning.
Okay.
As we come to close down this conversation, sadly. If you weren't in hospitality, what else would you be doing? And I think you mentioned this at the very beginning.
Yeah, I would either be a poker player, because I'm good at reading people.
Yeah.
But definitely gardening. I love just seeing things succeed, seeing things fail. That didn't work out. Okay, we're going to plant that there. And I really love, the garden, and it brings me a lot of joy. And when I was doing some high jobs in between university, I did a lot of landscaping and a lot of stuff, and I love getting my hands dirty.
I was just about to say, it's that same aspect, though, isn't it, about hands and getting stuff done.
And I do lose myself. You get this whole attention to detail, and you wander through the garden, you have your secretaires, and you're like pruning there and snipping there and digging something up there and relocating that's something else there, and you have your compost pile that you rip apart.
Constant creation, hey?
Yeah.
A bit like what you do.
I got the fish market right next door to the Baduzzi. I'll go in and see the guys, and they'll give me some fish heads, and I'll just bring them to my compost pile. Those are great.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'll just throw them in there and mix them up.
Makes it rich.
Yeah.
And the poker player? Because that's like vastly
I might lose a lot of money. I might be alone. I might lose all my money. I don't know about that. But I say that like tongue in cheek, just because you have to be able to read people.
Yes, yeah.
You have to be able to be like, what's going on with you? What's up?
Did their eyebrow raise then when they picked up that card?
Yeah, because then you're like, for me, I don't like surprises. Like for me, I've been blessed. I tell everyone has an end date. You come into my life. There's gonna be a day you don't work for me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're leaving a legacy. Do you want to leave a good legacy or a bad legacy? You don't want to be that guy that, did all those bad things. Yeah, it's a small town.
Don't even get that guy back.
But if you're like someone that's like, I know when you're going to want to leave. We know you're going to want to do. You want to become a baker. I'll help you look at a site, and they'll tell you what I know about leases, and I can tell you what I know about things. But it's nice to have a plan. So I think part of that is knowing your people.
Yep.
And I think that's part of that. Like, I can tell you're having a bad day. I can tell you're having a bad day. What is it? So you just can tell.
And don't you think, because I'm very much like that, and I coach a lot of people, that I can, within the first minute of our conversation, I know where they're at.
Yeah.
Because also with that, the more present you are, the more attuned to people and their energy and their, you feel people before they even open up their mouth. You can feel what energy they're emitting.
And I think it's a responsibility we have because, it can get overwhelming where you're like, what's happening in the world?
Oh, yeah.
And you have all these leaders getting paid off for what's their motivation for their new golf course or whatever. Propaganda, it seems like it's so overwhelming. So for us, I think if we start small and we are kind in our world and we connect with the people in our world and we start small with us, that's where you have to go.
Oh, I totally agree. I always have this philosophy in my business about the ripple effect.
Yeah.
And that everything that I do has a flow-on effect. And I have no idea how far it goes or who it touches along the way. But that is my contribution to the world to make the world a better place. And,
I subscribe.
And I'm equally responsible for if I'm in a shitty mood or I do something, that has a ripple effect and impact on people as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the show is called The Essence Within You.
Okay.
When everything's stripped back.
Okay.
What is the essence of Michael?
Oh, the essence.
I think you talked a little bit about it earlier on, but...
Oh, the essence is, I really want just peace. There's times I'm just, because I think each night is like there's a controlled chaos, madness. And the gears of the machine sometimes are lubed up and they're flowing and it's going boom, boom, boom. And sometimes there's breakdowns. And so I think I try to strive for peace, because then if you can kind of move through, okay, there's a worldwide pandemic, okay, there's this, and I know that if I can move through things and get reminded that actually what is important, and just to have some I like peace, even though I put grenades in my own nest and whoosh, and I'm like, look what I just did. I just made a mess. I got to clean this up. So I kind of go against that philosophy.
Yes.
But I don't know if that answers. I don't know. What did I say? Something else that?
Oh, you were just talking about this. Probably leads into this last question for today. Is one day when you're not on this planet, what would you like to be remembered for, professionally and personally?
He made me laugh. He's a funny guy. He's outrageous dude. We worked hard, but we laughed. I think I was in there with you. We're in the arena. We got through it. It was something that was really difficult, but we got through it together. So I think, and look, he left a nice garden. Like, look at his garden. Do you know how women want to be tell them, oh, you look nice? I'm like, people come over, tell me how nice my garden looks. Please, just tell. Doesn't it look nice? Doesn't my garden look nice? See my driftwood I found, or I'll be in Sicily and I found this piece of marble and I put that in my. And you just I can just imagine it's a piece of art.
I can imagine it in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. So it's a tradition on my show.
Okay.
That at the end of every show I give a little gift, and this is a quartz heart.
Oh.
And this is for you.
Thank you.
And the reason that I give these quartz hearts is because, to me, heart is at the centre of everything we do. If we live life with fulfilment, and that heart has travelled to the South Island, and it is blessed, Māori blessing, in the most purest water in the South Island.
Thank you.
In the resurgence. And
I love that.
Yes, and so it's very special, very energised, and now it's yours to keep. And also, on those times, I always think when you might feel a bit lost, when you might feel life is really good, when you maybe meditate, wherever. Just remember that it goes back to heart. And, what I clearly seen from this conversation, which I've just loved, is that you have a big heart and a deep heart. And I think it's a perfect...
If you knew me, this is a perfect... I love this.
Yeah.
I love these sort of things. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much.
But don't put it in your garden.
I won't put it in my garden. I'll carry this with me. I'll carry it with me.
Yeah.
I'll carry it with me.
Beautiful. But thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we'll see you in the North Shore.
Yeah, we'll do.